The Galactic Council chambers hummed with the usual cacophony of 1,000 species arguing over trade routes, territorial disputes, and resource allocation. Ambassador Anya Singh sat in humanity's designated seat, a chair positioned deliberately in the furthest corner of the amphitheater, where the lighting was poorest and the acoustics worst. She'd grown accustomed to it over the past 3 years. Earth had been granted observational status. In the Council, a polite term that meant humans could watch but not vote, speak only when addressed, and certainly never propose legislation. Anya had accepted these terms with the same quiet dignity that had defined humanity's entire approach to galactic politics. "We stay silent," the UN Secretary-General had told her before her appointment. "We watch, we learn, we show them we're not a threat." And silent they had been. Beside Anya, her aide Alax, a young Tharnosian with crystalline skin that refracted the chamber's light into dancing patterns, shuffled through data tablets nervously. Alax had been assigned to humanity's mission as part of a cultural exchange program, though both of them knew it was really a monitoring position. Still, over 3 years, something resembling genuine friendship had formed between them. "Ambassador," Alax whispered, his voice carrying the musical quality of his species, "the Dramath delegation is approaching the podium. This is about the trade sanctions." Anya nodded. The Dramath were reptilian beings who controlled 7 major shipping lanes. For months, they'd been lobbying to restrict human access to faster-than-light trade routes, claiming Earth's merchant vessels were unpredictable and potentially dangerous. It was discrimination dressed up as safety concerns, but Anya had advised Earth to comply. "We stay silent," she'd repeated in her reports. "We show them through actions, not words." High Chancellor Vexther, a massive Dramath with scales like burnished copper, approached the central podium. His forked tongue flickered as he began speaking in the Council's common language. "Honored members," Vexther's voice boomed through translation matrices, "I bring forth a proposal for the restriction of human trade access to Class A shipping lanes. The data is clear. Humanity remains too primitive, too volatile, too dangerous to be trusted with." "Too stupid," someone called from the upper galleries. Laughter rippled through various species vocalizations. Anya's jaw tightened, but she remained still. "Yes," Vexther continued, a cruel amusement in his eyes as they fixed on Anya's corner. "Perhaps that is the more accurate term. The humans are a juvenile species. They fight among themselves. Their planet is divided into squabbling nations. They still use combustion engines in some regions. They age and die in mere decades." He paused for effect. "Perhaps observational status is too generous. Perhaps Earth would be better served by being designated a protected wilderness. Interesting to study, but certainly not equal to the civilized races." The chamber erupted in a mixture of reactions. Some delegates appeared uncomfortable, but many more were nodding or voicing agreement. Alax touched Anya's arm gently. "Ambassador, I'm sorry, this is—" "It's fine," Anya said softly. Her dark eyes remained fixed on Vexther, her expression unreadable. "Furthermore," Vexther continued, warming to his subject, "I propose we limit Earth's technological access. They've been given too much, too quickly. It's like handing a fusion reactor to a child playing with blocks. The humans cannot be trusted with." "Enough." The single word cut through the chamber like a blade through water. It wasn't loud, but it carried a weight that made species across the amphitheater pause mid-conversation. Anya had stood. Vexther's scaled brow ridged in what might have been surprise or amusement. "The human wishes to speak. Observational status does not permit." "I'm not asking permission," Anya said, her voice steady and clear. "I'm informing you that you've made a critical error in judgment." The High Chancellor's eyes narrowed. "Is that a threat, little human?" "No, Chancellor, it's a correction." Anya stepped forward from her corner, moving into the light. "Earth has remained silent for 3 years, not because we're stupid, Not because we're primitive, not because we're weak. We remained silent because we believed in diplomacy, in patience, in earning respect through actions rather than demanding it through words. Elax was frantically gesturing for her to stop, but Anya continued walking toward the central floor. You call us juvenile because we fight among ourselves. Anya's voice grew stronger. We've had world peace for 30 years. Your species' chancellor had a civil war that killed billions just 60 years ago. You call us primitive because some regions use old technology. We choose to preserve our diversity, our history. You call us short-lived. She smiled coldly. We pack more determination, more innovation, more progress into our brief decades than most species achieve in centuries. This is outrageous, Vexler hissed. You have no right to. You want to know what humanity is capable of? Anya interrupted. Let me tell you a story. 3 years ago, before I arrived here, Earth scientists detected a rogue asteroid on collision course with the Delphine colony world. Your people, Chancellor, had calculated it would impact in 6 months. Your best ships couldn't reach it in time to divert it. 17 million Drameth were going to die. The chamber had gone completely silent. Earth diverted that asteroid, Anya continued. We didn't announce it. We didn't demand recognition or payment. We did it because it was right. Our primitive propulsion systems, our juvenile problem-solving, our short-lived engineers worked around the clock for 3 months. We saved your colony, Chancellor, while you were still running evacuation simulations. Vexler's scales had paled slightly. We've done the same for 15 other worlds in crisis situations over the past 3 years, Anya said, addressing the entire council now. Medical disasters, ecological collapses, rescue operations, always quiet, always without demanding credit, because we thought naively, it turns out, that you would judge us by our character, not your prejudices. She turned slowly, making eye contact with delegates across the chamber. But here's what you don't understand about humanity. We're done being silent, not because we're angry, though we have every right to be. We're done being silent because you need to hear the truth. Anya pulled out a small data device. This contains detailed records of every mission Earth has undertaken to help galactic worlds over the past 3 years, every life saved, every disaster averted, every time we chose to help instead of standing by. She placed it on the Council's central data receiver. You want to restrict our trade routes, designate us as a protected wilderness. Go ahead. But know this, the next time your colonies face disaster, the next time your people need help, Earth won't be silent then either. We'll still save you, because that's what humans do. The chamber remained frozen in stunned silence. We don't need your approval, Anya said quietly. We don't need your validation. We're not children seeking permission to sit at the adults' table. We're humanity, stubborn, short-lived, determined humanity, and we're going to keep being exactly who we are, whether you respect us or not. She turned to walk back to her corner, then paused. Oh, and Chancellor, that unpredictable human merchant vessel you're so concerned about. Last month it rescued 37 Drameth miners from a collapsing asteroid field after your own rescue ships declared the situation too dangerous. You might want to send them a thank you message. As Anya returned to her seat, Elax was staring at her with wide, crystalline eyes that reflected something like awe. Ambassador, he whispered, that was either the bravest or most foolish thing I've ever witnessed. Probably both, Anya admitted, her heart pounding now that the adrenaline was fatting. The council chamber remained in shocked silence for several long moments. Then, from the upper galleries, a single delegate, a Vexian whose species had been saved by human medical intervention during a plague, began a slow, rhythmic tapping against their seat's armrest, the gesture of approval in their culture. Another joined, then another. Soon, perhaps a third of the council was expressing various forms of approval or acknowledgement, while another third looked uncomfortable, and the final third, including Chancellor Vexler, appeared stunned into silence. The High Chancellor finally found his voice. This is unprecedented. Yes, agreed Council Matriarch Zeliana, an ancient being whose species had served on the Council for thousands of years. Her voice carried the weight of age and authority. It is. Ambassador Singh, you have violated protocol by speaking without permission. Anya stood straight, ready to accept whatever consequences came. However, the matriarch continued, a hint of something that might have been approval in her tone, you have also demonstrated something the council needed to hear. Earth's observational status will be reviewed, whether that review leads to full membership or— She glanced meaningfully at Vexther. Something else remains to be seen. As the session adjourned in chaos, Elax leaned close to Anya. You know Earth's approach of staying silent was probably wise. It was, Anya agreed. So why stop now? Anya smiled. Because silence can be strength, but only if it's a choice. The moment it becomes expected, assumed, taken for granted, that's when silence becomes submission, and humanity doesn't do submission. Elax's crystalline face refracted the light in patterns that suggested amusement. I'm beginning to understand why humans terrify so many species. Good, Anya said. Fear we can work with, it's contempt that we won't tolerate. As they left the chamber, Anya knew that Earth's quiet observation period was over. What came next would be louder, messier, and infinitely more complicated. But it would be on humanity's terms. Earth had stayed silent long enough. And